find interesting, the less money I have had in savings, the more I spend. No, really, I'm opposite. And the more that's in saving, the more I'm like, mm-mm, I'm not. It's weird. I'm, it's so weird. The more money I have in there, the more I'm like, nope, I'm not spending. I'm not spending. I'm not spending. And then if something like major happens, and then it goes less, then I start.
Panicking?
I don't know, not panicking, but just spending more. Like, okay, well, I'm already spending this amount. Just keep going. Just keep
Well,
spending. Like
that's the
something crazy.
point.
But then when it is weird. I don't. How much? Okay, so what do you think a person should have in savings? Like, what is the general rule that you should have at least this amount in savings?
Well, I talk about that in my book, and I have a kind of unconventional opinion about it.
Okay.
I started off in a lot of debt, and I was a huge Dave Ramsey follower and fan.
Oh, yes.
And I listened to Dave Ramsey's podcast for like a maniac, probably for like 2.5, almost 3 years, every day, just just listening, just brainwashing myself. And so I understand that there are rules and people have different opinions about how much you need or how much you shouldn't have. But honestly, what I say is it's really important to understand your own financial ecosystem. And in order to do that, you must keep records, whether you are, a lot of people hate that idea that they have to keep records. But for me, it was really transformational to start to record what I was spending every day, what I was taking in and when, how much money I was getting in, what my needs were, what my desires were, my wish lists,
Okay.
all of that I detail in the book. And so my belief is that once taking, you've been kind of keeping your own records for a while, you will know if 6 months of expenses feels a little heavy or if it feels a little light. Not everyone's life is the same. Some of the suggestions people make about how much to have is based on the idea that you'll need a certain number of months to find a new job in case you lose your job. That's the rationale
Mhm.
behind saying you should have 6 months, you should have 3 months, you should have 8 months, maybe post COVID, you should have a year. But I really believe that those kinds of external suggestions can only go so far. So I would encourage, and I feel really passionately about this, I would encourage people to get to know themselves, understand how money flows in and out of your own life.
Mm.
And it's really simple. It's just keeping track of what you're already doing.